could you put the time on for the Board of Public Works meeting, please? And roll call, call to order.
Alderman Nichols. Here. Alderman Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Sevenick.
Here.
Alderman Langdon.
Here.
Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman Tom Grady.
Here.
Alderman Ted Grady.
Here.
Alderman Rapella.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you, Clerk. Letter C is the minutes to approve from the March 1st, 2021 meeting. Do I have a motion, please? Why is this upside down?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of March 1st, 2021.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion by Alderman Taylor, seconded by Alderman Tom Grady. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Minutes are approved. Stupid. Again, knock me out. Just if you can give me a second.
Go to the bottom again, Mark.
Okay. Yep.
That orange thing.
Yep. So
Okay.
first thing on the agenda, we're going to go to the discussion action items. And number 7, it's the Brighton Drive right-of-way encroachment. Do I have a motion on that?
Mr. Chairman, did you say were you gonna send that back to planning?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you, Alderman Taylor.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Okay. Why?
I make a motion to move to council the right-of-way encroachment for 1011 Brighton Drive, allowing the garage to be reconstructed in the existing footprint as recommended by the Board of Public Works.
I got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Chairman
Oh,
said,
that was close. Second by Alderman Schmidt.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Taylor. Alderman Taylor.
I'm a little confused. You took a motion, but you said you wanted to send it back to the planning commission.
Yeah, I didn't do that right, did I?
Mr. Chairman, can I intervene?
Yes.
Thank you. Alderman Taylor, you can make that motion.
Chairman,
I understand
You
it,
can
but
send it to committee. If you
wanted
want to
to-
send it to committee, you can. And that
I
way,
know that.
okay.
Mr.
I
Chairman,
wanted
could
the chairman to do what he wants to do. That's all I'm saying.
can I provide some background?
Yes, please.
All right, thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, you can make that motion too.
I can.
Yes.
Before you do that, could I interject and provide some background?
It's your committee.
This document does not go to plan commission.
Great. Go ahead, Sam.
Where does it go? Because I'm not going to allow this tonight. I have not approved a major renovation forgivable loan to the applicant for the project. I do not know where that came from.
Mark, would you like me to provide some background to the information so you guys can make the appropriate decision on this?
Well, I'm still going to.
Yes.
Okay.
Mark,
I'm still going to not allow it because the city did not approve anything.
Mark,
Yep. Yes.
can I speak?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair.
I
I
screwed
think
this
it
up.
would be I think it would be appropriate that we allow Sam to speak for now, and then we can make a decision what we want to do with this.
Okay. Go ahead, Sam, sorry.
All right, do I have the floor? Thank you.
Yeah, I just, yes.
So what is in front of the Board of Public Works today is a request for a right-of-way encroachment at 1011 Brighton Drive. So the homeowner, Max Chapman, as he stayed on this entire time, he did request a strong neighborhoods application or a major renovation to reinvest into his house. He was basically looking at adding a complete second story onto his house. This is an existing dwelling, existing footprint. He was not looking at modifying the footprint at all. It is a legal non-conforming building. And again, so that application did move forward to the Housing Authority. The Housing Authority has approved that major renovation program. There were questions that were brought up at the common council meeting as well as the Housing Authority meeting that this required plan commission approval and this can't get approved. This does not require plan commission approval. This is a residential dwelling and does get reviewed and approved internally by staff. What we are looking at is because once after the approval was done, we are going through the permitting process for the actual building permit. What the homeowner found and the inspector required, as well as the contractor and the engineer on staff, is that once they again got approval from the Housing Authority to get the funds, they really started to look into it. And the second story addition, the existing foundation under the garage could not handle the second story addition to be constructed. And what that meant was the entire foundation of the garage would have to be removed and reconstructed. However, once you remove the entire structure and the foundation, you lose that legal non-conforming status within the road right of way. So again, if they did not do that and they just built the second story, we would not be here. They would have issued their permit. They would have gotten the strong neighborhoods funds that are again appropriated through the Housing Authority. But the reason we are here is that in order to do the project properly by the architect, the engineer, the building inspector, they do need to remove the entire foundation of that garage, reconstruct in the exact same footprint, which is a few feet into the road right of way, but again, not encroaching any further, and then build up from there. The existing garage, I believe, is right around 20 feet, and maybe Max can hop in if there's objections or questions specifically to that. If they were to remove 2 or 4 feet from this garage, they are removing so much of this garage that it is unbuildable. So basically, it does not make sense for them to move forward with this project. It makes sense for them to cut their losses, sell the property, likely, as Max noted in public comment, move into a project and a building that they can grow into that they want to do. Again, the garage itself existing can stay. It is an existing garage. Once you remove it through the foundation, you lose that non-conforming status. We did confer with the city attorney. This is the appropriate action today to move that forward, would be to get the Board of Public Works approval to allow that continued encroachment. And again, it's the exact same footprint. It's not expanding it any further. But basically that footprint is needed to basically be any type of functioning as a garage because of the depth. Most standard garages are 20 to 24 feet deep. So again, 16 feet would only be able to house a smart car or a motorcycle. And I can't say what Max drives. So again, moving forward, that is why we are looking at this today. This has been reviewed by staff. This has been reviewed by the city attorney. And we have talked to the engineering department, Adam, Corey, and Laura, and we all have approved this and recommend that we move forward. And the Board of Public Works recommends this action to the Common Council to allow this continued right-of-way encroachment at 1011 Brighton Drive for the garage to be reconstructed in its exact footprint. In no shape does this go to Plan Commission before or after any type of process. This does not go to Plan Commission. So just so I am clear there. But staff's recommendation again, and this is not just community development, this is also talking with the engineers, also talking with the city attorney, is for the Board of Public Works to recommend the Common Council approve this right-of-way encroachment to continue because it is existing and move forward with the construction of this project. Thank you.
I agree, but Sam, can you tell me who the city? I just want to know who you says the city has also approved. You're the city that approved then, correct?
The housing authority funds are approved by the housing authority. The Strong Neighborhoods Program, the major renovation, those funds are approved by the housing authority. That already went through the housing authority process. Again, I can't speak on behalf of Max, but possibly it's not worth going through the building permit process if he's not able to get those funds. Again, this is part of what we want to do with the Strong Neighborhoods is to get that investment tied in. So again, I do not regret the process that we took at all. If the building cannot be built, if the permits cannot be built, they aren't going to get the renovation dollars, and they're going to stay in the bank because it is a reimbursement. So again, there's nothing wrong with the process that it took there. That the housing authority approved the funds as recommended, and it is completely up to them to approve those funds.
Okay, so you gave me your answer on that. Thank you, Sam.
Chair,
Alderman Severnick.
thank you. Sam, the housing authority gave that approval based on the fact that it would be built on top of the existing garage. They didn't give approval of this being torn down and started all over. So this is different. And I agree with what Alderman, here I go again, what Mrs. Taylor had said earlier, is that, and I've experienced this on a personal level myself, where something was only a few inches off and it wasn't approved. And in fact, my mentor, this devastated him when he took an old garage down to build a new garage. And because now it was not allowed, he could have kept the old garage up for as long as he wanted. But once he wanted to put a new one up, he couldn't. And he couldn't put up that garage. And that was Bill Herziger. And he was devastated by that on his cottage. So I understand where this individual is coming from, because he wants to stay and invest here in Menasha and that. But that to me isn't the topic. The topic is following the rules, and we're bending the rule here in order to have this. And I'm okay as long as we all decide that's what we were elected to do, if that's the right thing to do or not. But what I'm gonna, and I agree with what Ms. Taylor said before, this is gonna come back to us at some point, and someone's gonna say, well, you approved that one back in March, and I'm only, I only need an extra 6 inches, and now I can't build my new garage or anything else. So, I mean, it seems like somehow this got pumped up, because you'll have to explain to me, Sam, why this wouldn't have to go first through the Community Development Committee to us as a recommendation to allow to be built over this easement, this road easement. You'll have to explain that to me, because usually you'd have to go through an appeals type process in order to get that. We're avoiding that appeals process, and we're going directly to the Board of Public Works for approval. And I would almost think that this housing authority would have to relook at this also, because they were basing their decision on it was going to be built on the existing footprint, the old garage. Go ahead, Pam.
The reason that it doesn't go through like the Board of Appeals and things is because the Board of Appeals deals with zoning issues, so if like a setback isn't correct, something like that.
Okay.
The issue in this particular case is that a part of the garage is located in the city's right-of-way,
Mhm.
and the right-of-way is managed by the Board of Public Works and the Common Council. And
Okay.
so it doesn't matter what a Board of Zoning would say. Even if it went there and they approved it, it still couldn't happen because it's in the right-of-way. And in order to stay in the right-of-way, it's called an encroachment. And then it's the Board of Public Works and the Common Council that has to decide, can it stay there? Or, if the person's going to take it down, does it, do they, then they can't go back there at all. It's a decision that's just by the Common Council.
Okay. So I believe it was Tom. Tom, your recommendation was to the Common Council.
Yes,
Okay.
as approved by the Board of Public Works.
I know
mean,
that if I was,
why would this guy put an addition on a faulty foundation?
right,
I mean,
I'm not arguing that.
We're approving that and that would all fall down, and then who's reliable for that other than whatever, but I think he's doing his homework along with the Public Works.
Right. I think the city attorney answered our question, Mr. Chairman. I think it would be appropriate then if we make that decision this evening. I'm okay with it, but I needed to hear that comment.
Yep.
I just think that somewhere down the line this might come back to bite us possibly. I just think of Bill Herziger that time when what had happened to him, and it was devastating. And I certainly wouldn't want this to happen to Max either. I'm sure he wants to be a part of our community and build a nice property. So I just wanted to make sure that the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted. And I'm willing to move along with this, Mr. Chairman, if unless someone else has more comments, I think we can approve this.
Alderman Taylor?
Thank you, Chair. As Alderman Severnick said, sometimes it's a matter of inches. And Sam, will you help me with this? On the first paragraph, the attached garage encroachment is 2 to 4 feet into the city right of way. Now, is that garage skewed on one end? It's 2 feet, the other end it's 4 feet?
That is what our mapping is showing, that it is skewed from 2 to 4 feet, yes.
Okay, and what is the size of the garage?
I don't have it in front of me, but I believe the depth of the garage that is existing is 20 feet, and Max does have his light on if there's the allowance to allow him to talk. I'm sure he can.
I just, if you would like to tell me the depth of the garage, that's all I'd like to know at this point.
So my depth is 22 feet 9 inches, and that's outside to outside, I believe.
Okay, and Director Sam, on this document here, it doesn't appear to be skewed. I mean, on this overhead map here that we're looking at, this aerial map, but you're saying from one side to the other, it's 2 to 4 feet?
Whatever.
Who said whatever?
I don't see
Ted,
anybody.
did you say that? Ted, did you say that?
No, I did not.
Who said whatever?
I just
I
want
think
to
you did, because
I just want to add that it wasn't me.
Okay, that was Ted, his microphone's on. Okay, so it is a big whatever, like Alderman Severnick said. Sometimes it's a matter of inches. And I just want to get this clear and get the numbers right before we move forward on here. And Sam, I had asked you on that aerial, why does it look even? And it doesn't look skewed.
It looks skewed to me when I'm looking at it. So again, I guess it's a matter of opinion. And
Okay.
again, what we have is the memo, and if you want to table this and require Max to get a survey, again, but what we are looking at is to
There,
build.
Sam, I didn't ask those questions. I asked you one question, and I'm not debating you, okay? And we're just trying to get this straight because Alderman Severnick, you brought up a great point. We got to use the rule for everybody, and we can't go, and just trying to get some answers to questions here. I'm in favor of this. I want to move forward with this, but I want to make sure, as Alderman Severnick did, we got a legal ruling from the attorney, and we're just trying to get our facts and figures straight here. So when other people bring something like this up to us, and that we have this, and we treat all our residents the same. And I know it's a photocopy, but it didn't appear that far off for me, 2 to 4 feet. But if that's what it is, that's what it is.
I can interject I may have an answer for your question.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
If you're looking at an aerial view, I believe it looks very squared off when you're looking at an aerial view, looking down against the road. The road center line, I think, is angled through that particular area. So, and when I did my more as accurate as I could get, I think the skew is actually right around a foot, like between 8 and 12 inches was the actual skew. The 2 to 4 feet, I think, was a estimate probably in the city planners end is my guess. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Chapman. I built the garage, and it took me 3 years because the board of review denied things. We had to keep changing it. Before I pounded one nail, it cost me $1,200 in permits and attorney fees, and it took 3 years. So I think we can move your project along here, and thanks for putting an additional investment into our city. My questions were answered, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, the
Thank you.
mayor keeps muting. I'm asking.
Sandra?
Mark, I
Can't
think
hear you.
Ted has his light on, Mark. Ted has his light on.
Ted? Oh, I'm sorry. He's over there. Sorry, Alderman Grady. Ted, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. And thanks, Alderman Severnick and Alderman Taylor, for going back to what the captain said with her definition of this ordinance or the planning or the lot of the road, and it made you guys understand that, okay, this should be done. The housing authority okayed the money to be spent. It's not a lot of money that he's getting, but I think he's putting on a pretty big addition to this house. And who knows how much longer the Strong Neighborhood Program dollars will be around to continue with this funding. But I think his improvements, his tax dollars that we make off of this more than reap the payment of what the city has to put into it. And I appreciate that Max is willing to stay in Menasha and continue to make his property much better for all of us. So I appreciate it.
All right, any other comments? Alderman Becky, there. Alderman Becky, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep.
My question is for Director Schrader. I don't usually speak in hypotheticals, but here one goes. Let's say that this this particular situation had nothing to do with the Strong Neighborhoods program, and it was simply a property owner wanting to fix the garage, take out the foundation and pour a new one and fix the garage. Would we be in the same place today?
Yes,
It would be before the Board of Public Works seeking to continue an encroachment on the right of way.
yes. As we stated, due to removing the foundation, they are losing their legal non-conforming status. And because it is encroaching into the right of way, that is triggering the Board of Public Works review.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alderman Taylor was next.
No, I was just getting ready to vote.
Okay, Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you, Chair. And I have to apologize to Alderman Taylor. I didn't want to bring him into the mix here, but he went through a lot years ago for his garage, and that was another example. But I did, seeing he shared it, he had to jump through all these hoops, and like he said, it took almost 3 years for him. And I'm not really, and I think Alderman Nichols probably asked the very best question there possibly would be. You know what? This is just my opinion, but I don't think it would have came back to us, Alderman Nichols. I think the city would have told this individual he can't do it, and that would have been the end of it. So if it was just the garage. So that's just my opinion. I'm in favor of this. Let's vote, Chair.
I'm
Mark, I had
asking
one
for time.
comment.
Oh, go ahead, Alderman Taylor.
I just wanted to say that so the public knows that we don't have the opportunity to get together with all of us and talk about this like staff members do. And when we talk about this as a body, we have to be in the public realm and talking about it. So our questions are very important to the project and to make sure that we're doing our jobs properly and we're treating all our citizens the same. And that's why we ask questions and to get our answers. As Alderman Sevenick said, sometimes it comes down to just the inches. So we just want to make sure we get it right and treat everybody fairly. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Taylor.
I would ask for equal time.
I don't think he can talk yet.
No, not yet, Sandra.
It was granted to Mr.
So, okay. I got one thing I need to say. I have to apologize to Sam. I jumped the boat a little bit on this. And so he answered my question and everything else about it. So thank you, Sam. I apologize.
Mr. Chapman was given time. I would like to ask for time.
Go ahead.
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Vote for Sandra to talk.
No.
Thank you. The mayor keeps cutting me off.
Wait.
You're the chairman, Mark.
It's up to the chairman what he wants to do.
It's up to the chair.
Take Clerk Carl Kramer. Take a roll call, please.
Alderman Nichols?
I'm sorry, the mayor cuts me off.
This is for Sandra to talk.
Can I talk? Thank you.
Mark, it's up to you whether you want her to talk or not. It's your decision.
Yeah, I said you could. I said you could. 5 minutes. Take a roll call, please.
This is not on the agenda.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Chapman was given the opportunity from the public. I am from the public, and I would like to just give a brief opportunity. I'm not opposed to this person investing in our community. I'm not opposed to this person remodeling his house. I think it's wonderful. My issue is, if this structure is going to be removed entirely. It loses its grandfathered in legal nonconformity. It loses that. That means that any new structure would have to abide by current setbacks, irregardless of the current right-of-way problem. On a 50-foot lot, it probably already does not, it would have to abide by the setbacks or equal to the neighboring property. You're looking, and that would all go through the plan commission if he needed a variance to build it. That's been my issue from day one. It's not about it going through Public Works. It needs to go through the plan commission because you are opening up a can of worms. Numerous people have been denied such access. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying you have to deny this project, but it needs to be done due course. Thank you.
Thank you for
What is, Mark, what does the attorney think of that?
yeah, Pam, did you want to talk?
I already gave my legal opinion, so I don't really, I'm not gonna
Oh,
argue
okay.
with with
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Pam. All righty. Clerk Kramer, take a roll call, please.
Alderman Nichols,
Aye.
Alderman Taylor,
Aye.
Alderman Sevenick,
Aye, this is being recommended to the Common Council, so if there's anything further that comes before us, you know, we have 2 weeks.
Alderman
Correct.
Langdon,
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Rapella.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you, Clerk. All right, Mr. Chapman, we're all done. And it's moving to council. All right, next
Thank you.
on the, you bet, you're welcome. Next on the agenda is the communication, and that's WPPI Solar Grant Award Memo. And I think Thad would have that, but he's not here. Right, Adam? Thad?
Yes, correct. We just wanted to make you all aware that we were awarded WPPI's renewable grant for nonprofits in the amount of $20,000 towards a planned solar project at the new Public Works facility. However, we are still waiting to hear if we will be able to or will be awarded the PSC grant. That is sort of the linchpin on this. We do need that grant in order to bring the cost down to an amount that is, I guess, affordable for us, as we do intend to move forward with this project with the use of the WPPI member loan program as well. So we just wanted to give you an update on this.
Okay, so this one doesn't move to council? Adam?
No, it's just a communication right now.
It's just communication. Yep, so I thought, wanted to make sure. Thank you. Moving on to letter E, discussion/action items. First on the agenda is the MS4 program update summary, and that's going to be done by Laura.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to try and brush through it quickly. I know it's a late evening. There is a lot of information in this. I did put together a summary just to kind of bring down the information a little bit for you. The full report itself has been uploaded on our stormwater portion of our Menasha website if you did want to review the entirety of the document. There's a lot of attachments that go along with it. The summary should kind of bring down some of that information to you, make it a little more palatable. So I am going to, I think, try and share my screen. Hopefully you can see things. Is it large enough?
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. It looks really tiny on my screen, so. All right. A lot of this information was provided by Nick, so again, I'm not going to get into too much detail since he did already outline it. But so every municipality that has a populace of 10,000 or more is required to have an MS4 permit. There are currently 245 municipalities that have an active permit with the DNR. The permit coverage is for 5 years. Every 5 years, the permits are updated and reissued to the municipality. Every year, we also submit annual reports to the DNR. That's going to be coming here very shortly to you, likely at the next meeting. And we, as a part of the requirement of this permit, is we need to maintain our municipal storm sewer system maps. There are 7 core permit requirements of this, and that's kind of the 7 things I'm going to touch on and that are required of this 2021 program update. These are the 7 different sections. Nick, again, touched on this earlier, so I'm not really going to go too far into depth with any of these, but you know, public education and outreach and public involvement and participation go hand in hand. We need to put flyers up. We need to have postings on our website. We need to get the public to modify their behaviors, procedures to, you know, promote stormwater, not let spills happen, keep our environment as clean as possible. We need to encourage participation in volunteer events. Illicit discharge detection and elimination. We need to, again, have a spill procedure in place. If something does happen, we need to make sure we have the ability and we're equipped to take care of those. Construction site pollution control is if we have active construction sites that they keep their sediment on site, they're not tracking, they're not, you know, dewatering into a waterway with a bunch of cloudy, muddy, dirty water. Post-construction stormwater management, that would be for any of our stormwater best management practices that are installed. Maintaining those, making sure that they're documented properly, mapped properly, and I'll get into some of these requirements as we move along. Pollution prevention for municipal stormwater management facilities. This goes back to our stormwater pollution prevention plan that we're going to need with the garage. Basically making sure that any of our storage areas are maintained. We're not having water running through them, picking up sediments, salts, sands that get transferred downstream into our systems. And the last one is, again, the developed urbanized area standard. This kind of goes back a lot to that grant. We will be having to update our citywide modeling to see where we're at with those numbers and come up with a plan moving down the road. So again, what the DNR is looking for, we do our annual program reports. What they're looking for this time around is what I've been calling an audit of our system. For 2021, this is brand new to their permit requirements. So this is something that me coming in November, it was kind of a perfect circumstance for me to be, with my stormwater background coming in, being able to know the background, but not know what Menasha is doing. So I was able to come in, take a look at what we've been documenting, where we need to move along from here. All right, so getting into those core requirements. The first one, public education and outreach. We need to address 8 topics per term, per permit term, so every 5 years, 6 topics every year. There are 4 different mechanisms required for each topic. 2 of those need to be active, and that would be getting out and doing presentations, informational booths, activities, events. Passive would be posting, mailings, TV, radio, social media. And the 8 topics are listed here below. They're also in your summary and in the report. I threw in here the flyer that you guys saw last week, and again on council this evening. This one I put together before the last meeting, per request by the health department. So, you know, there's a lot of collaborative effort we're able to do here moving forward on some of these things we need to address. So where are we at? 2020 program status. There is kind of a table that I put into the summary that says how many we've done, what have we done between active and passive participation. We did meet our requirements for this year, so we have no problem with that. One thing we do need to focus on down the road is kind of beefing up our active participation. We have things posted a lot. We've been doing flyers, but we do need to start doing some more events, planning things, promoting events that maybe other people are planning. We can piggyback on some of the other groups that are doing things like the HECROT. Foxwolf Watershed Alliance puts on a lot of events that we do piggyback on, but we can work better on promoting. We do need to update the stormwater portion of our website. That is one thing that our administrative assistant and I have already been talking about. There's some things we need to do moving ahead there, updating links, putting together new brochures. There's a lot we could do here moving forward on that. I did put together a 5-year outreach plan that is in the very large packet for if you would like to read that. And we, again, need to incorporate more active participation. We did fall off a little bit last year on our quarterly stormwater topic flyers on Board of Public Works meetings. So we're trying to kick that back into gear, get those going, and also maintain our quarterly stormwater topic flyers that we post at the Public Works facility. And that's to help staff if there's spills, so they know what they need to do to clean up, don't put things in certain areas, just to kind of help them on their day-to-day activities. We're also looking at putting in some informational signage at some of our stormwater facilities. So these will be kind of signage that are going to go along with, rain gardens, wetlands, ponds. And so as people are walking along path, they're going to be able to see some of these things and kind of call attention to them, get people thinking about stormwater. Public involvement and participation is pretty easy to get. They require one annual opportunity for public input on the annual report or any other stormwater updates. And they would require one volunteer activity, cleanup events, again, installing rain gardens, planting rain gardens, monitoring, and then we need to identify the target audience. So we, again, had no problem meeting this. Our action plan and fee updates were presented to the Board of Public Works, as was our 2019 MS4 annual report last year. We have had resident participation for storm drain cleanup during Earth Day week. That was the last picture you saw on the last slide. And we had 27 Menasha participants in the Foxwolf Watershed Alliance annual cleanup event. Moving forward, we are still going to be posting a lot of these things that are upcoming. Obviously, the 2021 update here, the grants information, all of that counts towards us kind of getting those check boxes marked off. And again, we want to promote more resident participation for stormwater activities. I'm also coordinating with a Girl Scout troop leader, hopefully waiting for them to select an activity to earn a badge. I've been already also working with the HECROT Wetland Reserve Educational Coordinator. We're going to update the storm drain stenciling, and there's some future opportunities that we can partner with them on. We are also scheduled with the Foxwolf Watershed Alliance for an exhibiting plan in 2022. We were planned in 2020, but with COVID, they actually canceled all the municipalities that were scheduled for that year, spread them out over 3 years. So we got put into 2022. They come in and help us set up some events with schools and arrange for some future activities. The third core requirement is the illicit discharge detection and elimination. They require an ordinance, a written procedure to identify any illicit discharges or spills, and we need to field screen our storm sewer outfalls. What are we doing? We have an ordinance, we have our spill and illicit discharge response procedure manual and guidance documents, we're pretty well equipped there. We had 21 of our 118 outfalls inspected this year, and we only had one reported illicit discharge that was reported to the DNR, and the DNR has taken that over and is handling that. Our staff did respond and have been working with them on that. For the future, the one thing we need to do with this is basically fill in some more gaps in the information with our outfall documentation. A lot of those outfalls aren't classified yet. We have watershed areas we have not calculated out for those. So we just need to work on establishing an inspection schedule with those and updating that information, which hopefully we can do with our streets division throughout the next couple of years or so. The next core requirement is construction site pollution control. Again, they need an ordinance for this, have a site plan review process and administrative procedure for tracking sites, and establish a construction site inspection schedule and enforcement procedures. So far, we have our ordinance, we have our review guides, we have checklists, we're pretty well equipped on that end. We do also require erosion control permits for any sites disturbing over 4,000 square feet. With that, they're required to submit an erosion control plan that we review and approve. Inspections are provided weekly by the contractor to the city. And our staff has been inspecting largely complaint driven, not on a routine set schedule. So that's one thing moving forward into 2021 that we do want to work on, is establishing these routine inspection schedules, both for our city sites and for private sites. And here is listed just how frequently they require. The fifth core requirement is the post-construction stormwater management. They require, again, another ordinance. They want you to make sure there's long-term maintenance of all the best management practices in the city, and that inspections are done regularly, and that we are able to enforce any maintenance, making sure that it occurs. Site plan review process needs to be clearly outlined, and again, written procedure for inspection, maintenance, and enforcement. They require us for private sites to inspect each site at least once per 5-year permit term. And that, again, we document and enforce those inspections. So where are we at? We have our ordinance, we have our guides, pretty much as I had mentioned previously. We're pretty good there. We do also have a post-construction stormwater permit that we require of any site that does install a best management practice. They need to submit a stormwater management plan to make sure that it meets DNR requirements. We review and approve that. They are required to sign a long-term operation and maintenance agreement. And also they have to give us the right to inspect the property. As-built drawings also need to be provided, and those would be making sure that the pond, the biofilter, what have you, was built to plan. So we have 61 private stormwater best management practices and 32 of active operation and maintenance agreements. And we are not currently inspecting private sites. So that is one thing moving forward that we want to work on, is establishing a schedule to make sure we hit each of these sites at least once per permit term, as is required. And then also get working with owners on making sure that they're submitting their inspections. Any sites that don't have operation and maintenance agreements, that we're getting those. A lot of these sites predate the ordinance, so that's the reason we don't have the operation and maintenance agreements. So it's not that they didn't submit them with their applications, it's that they predated any requirement of having to do that. The sixth core requirement would be pollution prevention for municipal stormwater facilities. So they want us to, again, keep inventory of everything, map it all out, document everything, keep record drawings, make sure we have O&M agreements and plans, to make sure that our best management practices are meeting their removal efficiencies. So our inventory is all up to date. Everything is mapped in AutoCAD. We would eventually like to get that into GIS if we can down the road. We also have been routinely completing inspections of wet ponds annually. So we've been keeping up on that and keeping up on, your relative routine maintenance. There were 17 city-owned BMPs inspected in December of this year. This chart just table gives you an idea of quantified what we have for private and city best management practices and what we're looking at for our workload for having to inspect all of these. So we do need to inspect all of our best management practices annually. Like I said, we were just doing wet ponds, but we need to make sure we're doing the biofilters as well, or any dry ponds, keeping up on those. Follow repair and maintenance schedule. We have been tossing around the idea staff has of pursuing a vegetative planting and maintenance program, just to make sure that our cattails are getting cut, our phragmites are getting cut and removed, our natives can thrive. So there's things that we need to look at there, just to make sure that these things can be a little more aesthetically pleasing. The plants do have a lot to do with the treatment of each facility as well. The citywide stormwater management plan update that would go along with that grant. So the grant is a planning grant, the urban non-point source planning grant from the DNR. If we are given that, we are looking at a potential 50% cost split up to $85,000 if we're awarded it, and it would be, you get reimbursed for the work done in 2022 related to planning efforts. So this would include updating, our TMDLs. If we had any ordinance updates, we needed to work on that sort of thing. Nick did outline a lot of the items that we are looking at, which leads me into our last core requirement, the developed urbanized area standard. This is basically the DNR saying you need to meet your total suspended solids and total phosphorus goals. And then in the table gives you kind of the numbers, the target numbers that they have put down on us that they would like us to see. And then the map just shows you the different watersheds that we have here in the city that each TMDL correlates to. So that should be hopefully a really, tried running through it as fast as I could here in the interest of time. But this is what we're looking at for moving forward here on our MS4 program. Did anybody have any questions?
Yes, Alderman Taylor.
Thank you. Laura, nice program here that you put together and the document. And do you see in the future that sediment in these ponds, is it going to be a hazardous waste, or is it just going to be just ground sediment?
When they get dredged, they do generally require landfilling.
Okay.
You get metals,
and,
you get a lot of metals.
Okay. And do all our ponds, are we infected with muskrats in all our ponds?
Yeah, any municipality that I've been at, muskrats are a constant fight. They like to burrow. So they don't just hang out there and people get concerned about them. They make holes, they ruin the banks. They're a nuisance for sure. And that's why we have our trapping contracts that we establish.
So we do establish a trapping contract with somebody for our ponds.
Corey, can you chime in? I believe we do.
Yes, Alderman Taylor. Typically we do it about twice a year. We'll be doing it here shortly this spring as things start melting. Typically the individual reaches out to me, what ponds, looking for ponds that we want to have some work done on. And then again in the fall, he'll reach out, and basically I usually pick a handful of them, kind of rotate through them. And then once in a while there's complaints on certain ones that they see muskrats, and we'll try to take care of those. Typically he'll trap them.
Okay. I was reading that it can be a safety hazard for pedestrians that are walking along the pond, that these muskrats can make their habitat by burrowing underneath the bank up to the size of a Volkswagen car, and then somebody could be walking on top and they could fall into this and through this. So it does seem like it's an important part of our maintenance to have a trapping contract. Thank you.
Alderman Severnick.
Chair, are we going to then recommend to the Common Council both R7 and R8 at the same time? You're seeing that it pretty much covered both areas?
Yep. So
with that, Chair, I'll move that we recommend your resolutions to the Common Council. We'll take the first one, R721, a resolution to submit a stormwater planning grant with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
I'll second that.
Okay, I got a motion by Alderman Severnick, second by Alderman Tom Grady. Okay, Alderman Tom Grady. Any further discussion? Alderman Taylor. James? Oh, okay.
I was getting ready to vote.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Clerk Kramer, take roll call, please, for number 2.
Alderman Nichols.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Severnick.
Aye.
Alderman Langdon.
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt.
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Repella.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you,
Mr.
Alderman.
Chairman?
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay, Ted, I think Ted was on this.
Okay, whoever, I don't care. I want to get this moving.
Yep, Alderman Grady.
Just thanking Laura for coming.
Oh, okay. All right, Alderman Severnick.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I'll move that we recommend to the Common Council R821, a resolution authorizing the application for stormwater planning grant funding
I'll
from
second it.
the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
Okay, I got
Second.
motion by Alderman Severnick, and I think I heard second by Alderman Randy.
Yep, go ahead, yes.
Okay. Clerk Kramer, can we take a roll call, please?
Alderman Nichols,
Aye.
Alderman Taylor,
Aye.
Alderman Severnick,
Aye.
Alderman Langdon,
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Repella.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you, Clerk Kramer. Number 4, it's a change order. Do I have a motion? Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. I'll make a motion to approve the change order, Myron Construction Company, contract unit number 2020-06, Public Works Facility Construction Project at $5,835.74, change order number 17.
Second.
Thank you. Second by Alderman Ted Grady. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Clerk Kramer, roll call, please.
Alderman Nichols,
Aye.
Alderman Taylor,
Aye.
Alderman Severnick,
Aye.
Alderman Langdon,
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Repella.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Number 5, payment for to my reconstruction. Do I have a motion? Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. I'll make a motion to approve the payment to Myron Construction Company, contract unit number 2020-06, Public Works Facility Construction Project in the amount of $44,397.53, payment number 12.
Thank you.
Second.
Second by Alderman Ted Grady. Any further discussion? Okay, Clerk Kramer, roll call, please.
Alderman Nichols,
Aye.
Alderman Taylor,
Aye.
Alderman Severnick,
Aye.
Alderman Langdon,
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt,
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady,
Aye.
Alderman Repella.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
All righty.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Alderman Taylor.
I'll make a motion to approve the street construction project changes.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Corey.
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Randy Repella. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
Corey's got some.
Oh,
Yeah, Corey.
Thank you,
Corey,
Alderman
yes.
Taylor and Alderman Langen.
Yeah.
So what this is here, kind of in a nutshell, talking with Nina, some issues are kind of arising with Nicolay Boulevard. We want to take some time and look at that a little bit further. Also, there's some issues coming to light a little bit with Appleton Street. So we would like to backtrack on that one a little bit. We were looking to add Martin Street, which we would still like to do, but 6th Street, the Menasha Utilities let us know today that they would like to do water main on that section of street. What they had previously given to us did not show that, so that's why we picked that block of 6th Street. So right now, I guess if you'd like to just put this on hold, remove it. We'll come back with another suggestion, or if you want to just give us the go ahead to pick another street that we deem needed, we can do it that way also. However you want to do it, but I wouldn't approve it quite like it is.
Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you, Chair. I think what we can do is we can move with staff's recommendation for the changes, and then we'll have this on our agenda for the next council meeting as a recommendation from staff, if that works with everyone.
Yeah, I got motion by Alderman Sevenick. Do I have a second? Alderman Taylor?
Second. Yep.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Clerk Kramer.
Alderman Nichols has. When you put your light on, you gotta ask the chair. You gotta speak up, otherwise he's not gonna see you.
Yeah, sorry, Becky. Go ahead.
Thank you. Deputy Director Gordon, you mentioned Nicolay Boulevard, but Elm Street 2, Anup Street is still slated for reconstruction?
Correct. So we're still looking to do Elm Street to Anup Street. But the block from Anup Street to Washington Street, we're getting conflicting stuff in there. We're seeing some concrete pavement underneath the asphalt. There's dual storm sewer systems, there's dual sanitary systems, and we want to look at that stuff. We already know on our end there are some issues with some storm sewer spot replace things that we'd like to do. Nina's looking at doing something with theirs, so there's opportunities for us to do a number of things with that block. And if we run into any issues during construction, which it does happen, with the bridge project, I don't want to be rushed and make poor decisions on that. I would much rather just postpone this project for that section, that block, 2 blocks, whatever you want to call it, until 2023, and then revisit it with a much better plan.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that part of Nicolay Boulevard was getting done this year. So thank you for that.
Chair?
Alderman Sevenick.
We did have another motion on the floor. When I said what I said, wasn't necessarily a motion. So at least the clerk, you'll recognize that and realize that this is the legit motion. Haley?
Yes, I've got that.
Okay.
Alderman Taylor?
No, just getting ready to vote.
Yep. Okay, we had a motion. Clerk Kramer, roll call, please.
Alderman Nichols?
Aye.
Alderman Taylor?
Aye.
Alderman Sevenick?
Aye.
Alderman Langdon?
Aye.
Alderman Schmidt?
Aye.
Alderman Tom Grady?
Aye.
Alderman Ted Grady?
Aye.
Alderman Rapella?
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you, Clerk.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep, Alderman Taylor.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Second by Tom Grady. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.